Sixth order of the day is a motion on incessant killings by officers of the Nigerian Customs Service in Egbado South Federal Constituency in Ogun State, starring in the name of Honorable Kolawole Lawal. Honorable Lawal is invited to the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My honorable colleagues, thank you. My name is Representative Kolawole Lawal, KLM. I represent the deprived people of Ipokia South, Ipokia Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, from Ogun State. I rise to move a motion on the incessant killing by officers of the Nigerian Customs Service in my constituency, Egbado South, Ipokia Federal Constituency of Ogun State. The House knows that Egbado South, Ipokia Federal Constituency is a border community of Ogun State in need of enhanced security, as the protection of lives and properties is the primary responsibility of government. The House is aware that on Monday, October 7, 2019, men of the Nigerian Customs Service ran into some students of Ojumo Community High School in Ihunbo, in the Ipokia Local Government area of Ogun State, who were returning from school, killed 3 students and injured many others with their vehicle. Also aware that on 1st May 2020, Ridwan Bello, an SS2 student of my secondary school, area community high school, Owode, was killed by a stray bullet. Another killing by men of resistance was recorded on 28th March 2020 when a stray bullet hit a 15-year-old Miss Sekinat Agbelade, an SS3 student of Agosasa High School. The House is concerned that in the past few months, Egbado South in Ipokia Federal Constituency have been subjected to psychological trauma due to incessant killings by law-abiding citizens by men of Nigerian Customs Service in the guise of clamping down on smugglers. The House is also concerned that the incessant and sporadic shootings by men of Nigerian Customs Service have resulted in the death of several students and varying degrees of injury to many constituents of Egbado South, Ipokia Federal Constituency. The House is informed that men of the Nigerian Customs Service claimed that the accidental killings occurred in the course of discharging their duties while pursuing smugglers, which ended in the death of innocent people, while the suspects escaped unharmed, leaving the families of the deceased and the communities in deep grief for the irreparable loss of their loved ones. The House is disturbed that in spite of appeals to the leadership of the Nigerian Customs Service in Diroko and an ongoing petition which is currently before the House of Reps, the NCS personnel have continued to act in a wanton manner. Many people have also been killed after this motion was submitted for listing. The House is worried that the recklessness and lack of respect for human lives being exhibited by men of Nigerian Customs Service in the discharge of their duties have resulted in the death of the following people, among others. A. Mrs. Fausat Bankole, an innocent Nigerian, a widow, a mother of 3, was killed at Ilashe, the Ipokia Local Government, on 21st June 2017. B. Mr. Paul Ayomaya Oriyomi, who was an undergraduate, was killed by customs officers in Agilete area of Egbado South Local Government on 22nd October 2017 while returning home from church. C. Mr. Niyi Adesomi, a young law graduate, was also killed by the officers of Nigerian Customs Service at Aseko area of Ipokia Local Government area on the 10th of May 2018. D. Mr. Jamiu Bello and one other person were killed by men of the Nigerian Customs Service in the Owode area of Egbado South Local Government on the 3rd of January 2019. Like I said earlier, Mr. Speaker, many others have been killed after the submission of this motion. The House then resolved to observe a minute of silence in memory of all the victims of unlawful killings by men of Nigerian Customs Service. 2. The House resolved to urge the federal government to ensure that the officers who were complicit and indicted in the incidents are prosecuted to serve as deterrent to other officers. 3. Also urge the federal government to ensure that the families of all the deceased, as well as the injured ones at the scene of the Ihunbo incident and other incidents, where 3 students were killed and others were killed, are given adequate financial compensation. It has finally mandated the Committee on Customs and Excise to liaise with Nigerian Customs Service to ensure that officers of NCS are trained and retrained to avoid killing of innocent people and maintain professionalism in discharge of their duties. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, my name is Ihunbo Bargaja, member presenting Incessant. I'm from Sokoto State. I read to second the motion ordered by Honorable Kolawole. Thank you.
Honorable Kolawole's motion is straightforward unless somebody wants to speak against Honorable Leke.
Excellency, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Leke Agbelade is my name. I represent the good people of Ipokia Federal Constituency. I'm from Kogi State. I'm not really speaking against the motion. I just want to explain certain things concerning the issue of killing by Nigerian Customs Service. If you are aware, recently we considered a report whereby Nigerian Customs was asked to pay 390 million to some people in Jibia, Igagan, and Ishain. And from my own findings, these things are happening at border stations. Most people living around these border stations, border communities, don't really know the difference between smuggling and doing genuine business. So it is always clashes between the smugglers and customs. Customs is an agency of government set up to stop smuggling activities. So it is in the process of fighting these smugglers that we do have these casualties. So I'm not saying it that people at the border need to educate their people very well for us not to be having these issues. In one of their budget defense, the Comptroller General of Customs came. They went to the border, one of the borders, and when they got there, he met a woman and asked that woman, "Where is your husband?" He said he has gone to his own business. So what is the business he's doing? He said, "Dance smuggling." This dance smuggler means that the husband is a smuggler. That is the meaning. So there's need to educate our people at the border station. The very day we invited the custom officers and the people that were affected to come here and defend themselves, somebody who lives in Lagos called me. He said that he lived at the border station. He said the way the people are doing with the customs are not good, that they don't even understand the difference between doing genuine business and doing smuggling activities. So it is better we tell our colleagues and those people at home, let them understand there are differences in this thing. If you want to do genuine business, go for it. Because I believe if you are bringing your cargo either through the border station or through the port genuinely, you will not have problem with customs. And when you are having problem with customs, definitely we will continue to experience this type of killings. This is just what I want to.
Okay, Honorable Leke.
Sir, what I'm saying, I'm not justifying killings. I said it. I was one that considered.
Did you hear his motion? He said 3 pupils, students, were killed.
That is what I'm saying, sir. It is in the process of struggling with these smugglers that we do have these casualties. It is in the process of doing that these casualties do happen. So that is why we need to, this thing that I'm saying, sir, we need to go out, let an independent body move to the border stations.
Is the customs license in stopping smugglers? Do they have a right to shoot them? Forget kill.
As these smugglers, they will be the one that will shoot first. They will be the one that will shoot first.
So it is in self-defense. That's what you're saying.
Self-defense. They will be the one that will shoot first. That is what they are doing.
All right.
I have to tell you, if I'm defending custom, I will not allow the constituent to
Honorable
be
Kolawole.
considered for 390 million for custom to pay.
Yours is a bill, correct? Or is it a motion? What was your prayer in the motion?
Yes, sir. No. Mr. Speaker, before the prayer, sir, nobody will stand here and defend smugglers. The people that I have mentioned here were killed by stray bullets. In the pursuit of smugglers, they kill people that are not smugglers. The prayers, Mr. Speaker, are... Okay, let me go to the prayers, please. The prayers are, 1, to observe a minute's silence in memory of all the victims of lawful killing by means of Nigerian Customs Service. 2, urge the federal government to ensure that officers who were complicit and indicted in the killings are prosecuted to serve as precedent to others. Also, urge the federal government to ensure that families of all the deceased are compensated. 4, mandate Committee on Customs and Excise to liaise with the Customs Service to ensure that officers of NCS are trained and retrained to avoid killing of innocent people and in the discharge of their duties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
To say is that the chairman customs has already showed his hand, so that the customs cannot investigate when he has already made up his mind that so that's what your amendment is. But I listened to his prayer very well. His prayer was for customs to begin training and retraining, not to investigate who killed who or who didn't kill who. It's just for training. And I don't think the Committee on Customs will be biased in the issue on the issue of training. So that I don't think there's a conflict of interest there. I'll come to the leader later. What's your amendment?
A special ad hoc committee be appointed to investigate the killing of these people, because from the motion raised by my honorable colleague, the issue is not about smuggling, but the issue is about killing of innocent people by the Nigerian custom. I submit. Thank you, my honorable speaker.
So why don't you get the killing?
No,
I want him to answer. I want him to why ad hoc committee? Why don't you want your mic? Honorable Leke, yeah, put yourself. Okay, yes. Why don't you want
an ad hoc committee to be set up?
Why don't you want customs to investigate it? Why ad hoc?
No, please.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yes.
Say why. Tell me why.
So I wouldn't like it to be investigated by the Committee on Custom.
Why?
Because as a result of the comment made by the chairman of the custom. Thank you.
So, you have set yourself up. First?
Yes.
Any second to that? Honorable Leke, you want to second? Yeah, second it. Very good. Huh? Oh, you don't know what it is? On this amendment? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I represent an area of Owode Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, I understand the misgivings of my colleague who is proposing an ad hoc committee. Mr. Speaker, it is understandable that the challenges we...
No, so are you seconding the amendment?
No, I said I want to make a comment on the amendment. Because we need to be...
You can make a counter... You can give a counter amendment after we've... I'm not sure you can, under our rules, debate an amendment
No, it has to be knowledge-based. Amendments have to be knowledge-based. It's not a
Let's give Honorable Toby the leeway.
Yes,
you are opposing the amendment.
Yeah, I'm countering his amendment.
A counter amendment.
Okay, yes.
That is what it is.
Yes.
So wait, I'm thinking maybe we put this the question of this amendment. If it passes, then you can bring a counter amendment.
No, if it passes, you would have, the rest is gone. The subject matter would have gone.
No.
Mr. Speaker, if you put this to question and the House takes a position or a resolution based on the information available to them, the fact is that the subject matter of amendment would have gone.
Well, it depends on what your amendment is. Your amendment can now read after that question that.
No, if I want the committee.
Your amendment can come almost in form of a rescission. Your amendment you can move your amendment after his own, which will automatically rescind the first amendment. Automatically, what? Because if the two amendments cannot go together, then the latter amendment will take priority from the earlier one.
Okay, that is fine, but that would be
so we'll have the benefit of putting those to the two questions independently. Do you understand? I understand where you're coming from. It might be another way to do it, but I think by our procedure
that is fine. So we would have saved the man hours of the House.
I Honorable Rurum. You want to second?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Kabir Alasa Rurum. I represent Toronto Ipokia Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Kano. I rise to second the motion, the amended motion moved by Honorable Kalambaina. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in favor of the amendment that an ad hoc committee be set up to investigate the killings, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Toby, you have an amendment?
Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, it's very clear from the previous motion and resolution and report laid by the chairman of Customs before this House that there is a recurrence of interface, adversarial interface between customs and our citizens. Since the partition of Africa by European powers, it is common knowledge that our citizens live across each other, across each border communities, without even knowing what the differences are. Like he rightly cited, he asked the woman, what's the effort? He said, it's smuggling. What does it mean? Our citizens are not tutored on the illegality of that. And it happens throughout all the Nigerian borders. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the position canvassed by the chairman of the committee means he's not tutored sufficiently on these issues. Mr. Speaker, he has to have insight, knowledge, and by so doing, we will retain institutional memory on how to deal with issues pertaining our borders. He is the man in charge. He should be very he should be knowledgeable about it. In other words, I will suggest, physician, heal thyself. And the only way to do it, Mr. Speaker, let him be on top of this investigation. Just a moment, sir. Just a moment. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my colleagues are entitled to vote. They are also entitled to have my 15 minutes of fame. So they can express their
15?
Well,
2 minutes of fame.
So I would like that they vote. But what I'm saying is that in other jurisdictions, Mr. Speaker, there is an integrated management system for borders. Immigration, customs, police, all those people who interface. And it is based on how to deal with issues of borders because it's complicated. And I would like instead of having somebody just deal with it, a one-off approach, that people who are assigned by letter and spirit to be responsible for such positions should be the ones to deal with it. So my amendment is this, and I would like to plead with my colleagues that the committee, for the purpose of institutional memory, for the purposes of being on top of the situation, should have greater insight on what is happening between Nigerian citizens and the border communities. They should be the ones to investigate and report back to the House within 4 weeks. I so move.
Yes, honorable to memory. But you are also aware that, if I may ask you, under what circumstances do we set up ad hoc committees? You are aware? I don't even, it's a rhetorical question. Circumstances where you feel, for instance, one of the circumstances where you feel that the committee, standing committee, will not do justice to the job. And you see, in law, there's justice is not only, must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. Honorable Leke, the chairman committee, unfortunately, maybe he innocently believes what he believes, but unfortunately he has drawn attention to he has manifested that he has made up his mind, or the committee has made up its mind, that customs is not liable. And nobody is saying customs is liable. He may well be right. He may well be right. But he now cannot be the person to investigate something he has already declared on open floor that cannot be done. But we must follow our procedure. Who wants to second Honorable Toby? No, there's got to be somebody in this house. If there is nobody, I will call on somebody. There's got to be somebody. You must second the leader. You will second Honorable.
Honorable colleagues, I am Kiruka Onyejoch. I represent the good people of Isukwatu Federal Constituency. I'm from Abia State, Mr. Speaker, Honorable colleagues. I just want to draw our attention to something. We like to pretend a lot. And sometimes when people don't pretend, they will seem to be misunderstood. Honorable member, who is the chairman of Custom, said something and said, I am not in support of customs killing our citizens. But that, even the motion said it, that there shall be reorientation and training for custom officers. That's what the motion is seeking to achieve. And now, because he said something out of passion, and he's being misunderstood, and we are mature people, gentle people on the floor of this house, we should be able to differentiate when somebody is biased and when somebody is stating the obvious. I know Honorable Magaji Power.
Honorable Kiro, let me just quickly interject here. The petition stands.
Yes, sir.
And that is going to the Committee on Customs. It stands.
Yes, sir.
What has happened is that a new amendment that has nothing to do with prayers
on that amendment
on a narrow subject of killings,
yes,
has
sir,
now been brought in.
Yes, sir.
The question therefore now is that, is there a, based on what the chairman Customs said on the floor, is it right, having manifestly indicated that that this thing is not the fault of Customs, to now ask him to investigate something that he has shown his position? That's the narrow question.
I do not think that anybody on this floor who has sworn to protect the institution and constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So either, but we have proceeded. What is the meaning of ad hoc committee?
I'm not saying that. The truth of the matter is that based on what transpired here, and I am not in support of ad hoc committee because I know that it can investigate the killing and even bring people who are culpable to books, because he's not the only. He's just one single person. There are members of that committee, and they are Nigerians.
Okay,
I feel pain that somebody is dead.
Okay.
Every other person feels pain that somebody is dead. Will he come custom and say, I exonerate you? You're supposed to be killing people?
Okay.
He's not going to say that.
I get your point.
By,
so you are seconding, you are agreeing with Honorable Toby and you are seconding his amendment.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So, Deputy Majority Whip, Honorable Kiruka, those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The nays have it. Motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The seventh order of the day. Okay, a minute silence. But the souls of the departed rest in peace. See, honorable members, this last motion, Honorable Kiruka, Deputy Whip. This last motion was very interesting because it brought to fore what I consider part of our procedure. Sometimes it is always better that the concerned party shouldn't even say anything, lest he be misunderstood. Lest he be misunderstood. And that is what has happened, because I know Honorable Leke very well. I know him to be a very objective person who would do his work and would do it thoroughly. But unfortunately, that objectivity, many people may not understand based on his comments on the floor. And, like I said, we must do things to avoid any. Now, let me put it this way. If Honorable Leke, Honorable Kiruka, if Honorable Leke or the customs comes back with a report, thorough and objective investigation, and they exonerate customs, how would it look based on his comments? People will not give him the benefit of doubt. They'll say he had already made up his mind before. So we're even protecting. We are protecting Honorable Leke himself and the committee. So, honorable members, if you are your committee, if you are German, and then anything comes up, just keep quiet. Say, don't look. You make a contribution, it may be well misunderstood. So we move on.